Hi guys, so it is time to do a second video. I'm just cranking them out in between work, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the truth, myth, fact about keto, or this is sort of a beginner's guide to people who just chimed in and are trying the ketogenic diet and are thirsty for some proper information. How do you do it? How it works? The ABCs, 1, 2, 3, so let's get right on to it because you guys know I tend to go overtime on my videos. Alright, so I've been doing the ketogenic diet for 7 years with no refeeds. I'm almost 49, soon to be 50 in a year, and some change. And I used to be a pro skateboarder, and I busted my knee so I cannot run, jump, lunge, or squat. And so this is the by-effect of being in ketosis for that long. As you guys can see, I've been able to grow pretty bubbly muscle and be lean as a woman on being highly keto adapted. And so it takes a while to become highly adapted. And somebody once Googled that word or that phrase and they're like, I've never heard of highly adapted. It doesn't exist on the internet. And I'm like, well, I exist. And therefore I said it, so it exists. And there are other ways to coin highly keto adapted, which is in nutritional ketosis. But what I realized that based on your glucometer, you can show signs of being in nutritional ketosis and still not be fat adapted. And that's the whole confusing kit and caboodle. So let's get right onto it. So the ketogenic diet or lifestyle or ketosis, like I said, these are very throw out words, blah, 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 very confusing. But people try a ketogenic protocol or try to reach ketogenesis to get their body to survive on fat because we have 40,000 kilocalories of fat to burn as our primary source of fuel, like our gas tank to a Maserati. All right? So basically we become and grow up as carb burners. We rely on glucose coming from potatoes and grains and sweet fruits and table sugar, and basically anything and everything is considered somewhat of a carbohydrate except for pure fat like oils and butter. So even meat has very, very, very low levels of carbohydrate in it, which in your bloodstream gets converted into glucose. Therefore, that becomes its primary source of fuel. So when you hear people say, oh, I've got low blood sugar, or I'm cranky, I'm hungry, that is true. The brain becomes very dependent on glucose, and so if you don't eat every couple of hours, you crash. Then you have hunger signals, you have low energy drop signals. This forces your adrenal glands to work over and overdrive to release adrenaline and get you back up because you got to finish your day and pick up your kids and whatnot. We don't want to do that because that makes you sick, fat, and inflamed and broken. And this is why in many people the ketogenic diet has become interesting or a focus of interest to sort of heal the body. But of course everybody wants to burn body fat. They think that they could just do a ketogenic diet and before, after. As you guys know, I make fun of the before and after pictures and websites, all this crap on the internet. Lies, lies, and all lies. Almost everyone that you see that touts that they are in ketosis, they are not. Because it takes time. This is my 7th year of being in strict ketosis, and if you guys go back to the videos of 2009 or 2010, you will see the evolution of Stephanie. Stephanie was younger, and now Stephanie is older. Stephanie is younger, towards my early 40s, and now I'm in my late 40s, almost 50, and the body just gets better. So this is the medicinal benefits of being in a highly adapted keto state for a long time. Okay, how do you start? What's the deal? You want to cut your carbs down. I'm going to say this real fast because you guys tend to yak yak. So you want to cut your carbs down. Now a lot of people hear like a 70, 20, 10 percentage in your macronutrients, which is your fat, your carbohydrates, and your proteins. Now, your carbs must come from cruciferous vegetables and not from things like processed ketchup or what's in your bacon or sugars or xylitol or maltitol or your chewing gum. those don't count as your carbohydrates. They must come from your green vegetables. That would be your carbohydrate group. Very low in carb. Lots of fiber. Also, you have your protein and you have your fats. Now, I've been coaching people for a long time, and over 1,000 people. And if just on sheer numbers, you're going to learn something just on sheer numbers. Daily, 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 daily. The volume of people who use a glucometer that track their effect, the by-effect of trying to drive ketogenesis, the information is, it's beyond measure. It's beyond peril. It's so important, and I have it all right here, and I'm in about 100 notebooks. So you could say that I am the scientist in the field, plus I've been experimenting on myself. I'm not a person yakking about the ketogenic diet who doesn't keep a strict ketogenic diet myself, clearly. So you want to go to your kitchen and basically burn it. Get rid of all the processed carbohydrates or anything that has sneaky sugars in it, like ham and salami and pepperoni and all that stuff. Get rid of it. You want to get rid of foods that are allergenic, like cheese and nuts, and foods that are high in phytic acid or phytoestrogens like soy. Get rid of it. You don't want to eat proteins that are lean, like tuna and white fish and chicken breasts. No, especially if y'all have a little gout problem or a little uric acid problem. You want to go for the fattier meats, like chicken thigh, drum, wing, salmon, sardines, bison, fatty cuts of lamb, pork belly, pork, bacon, uncured, no sugar. These are the fats that we want. We want the yolks, right, more than the whites. The whites are pretty allergenic. And we want to, the only type of butters, the butters and oils and avocado, everybody asks me about the seed oils. Be very careful because they rancidify pretty quickly. But, and avocado oils on the edge, don't ever cook with it, I'm just saying. And go for, if you're going to saute your meats, we want to do lard. Beef tallow, beef fat, essentially. Pork fat, duck fat, goose fat, like all lovely, amazing animal fats that are very stable and can handle high heat and cold temperatures. Coconut oil, MCT oil for those, especially the pure MCT. And that would basically be it. Now there's the people that want carb replacements, but that's like another subject because I got burn rubber on this. So your carb replacements would be flax, meal, coconut flour, eggs. With just those 3 main ingredients, you can make pizza and donuts and bread and muffins and cookies and tortillas and what the hell, all the carb replacements that you want. I've made all those things, plus ice cream and potato chips and French fries. Yes, deep fried, yo, like amaze balls. And I don't mean sweaty balls. Okay, so you want to go clear everything out. Now, a lot of people ask, do I go do cardio to try to drive my glycogen storages? You can do that on the first official day, but to be honest, the best way is to graduate your carbs down slowly. Start a month out, right? You hear about the ketogenic diet, start a month out. Each week you want to graduate your carbs by 20 to 50 grams, depending where your starting point is. So let's say if you start with, well, you could just go to about 100 carbs, 100 grams of carbs, split it up between 3 meals and 2 snacks, and then go down to your 3 main meals. You could use sweet potato, yellow squash. You can use a little bit of white rice. And I said white, that's correct, because the brown rice has a lot of phytic acid in it. Like maybe a tablespoon or 2. And graduate your carbs slowly. So you would start with a full sweet potato, chop it up into fourths, and or chop it up into thirds, and then kind of feed it throughout your day. And that would be your carbohydrate source. So around each meal you would have probably about 15 to 10 carbs, not including your cruciferous vegetables, which will raise your carbs probably up to, well, and you could have some sweet fruits like, sorry, rewind. That was a Freudian slip, and when Stephanie talks too fast and is trying to squeeze a video in, she says the wrong thing. So what you want to do is have bitter fruits like apples, green apples and pears, and berries, that would be your fruits to start at about 100 carbs and start graduating your carbs down. So yellow squash, sweet potato, tablespoons of white rice and berries, and split it out throughout your meals, and you'd probably have not 10 carbs. That would be from sweet potato, but altogether each meal is going to have about 35 carbs per meal, and then you just slowly take it down all the way down to 20 net carbs, which is the fiber minus the total carb number, and then that's the amount of carbs that you are absorbing, but only from very fibrous, cruciferous vegetables or coconut. All right, or avocado, which is very fibrous as well. Now, what you want to do is drive your glycogen, which is the stored gasoline, which is the glucose here. Get rid of it, because if that's still around, your body's not going to make the ketones. A lot of people like to fast their first day, but don't be fooled by the fasting, because after maybe a week of fasting, your glucose can shoot skyrocketing high through a process called gluconeogenesis, which is body munching on your muscle, converting it into sugar. I've explained this in a million videos, that your body can make sugar in 3 minutes without eating a drop of it. That is how we get glucose into our red blood cells. No matter how ketogenic or how keto adapted you are, you will always still make sugar. The point is that if you've got metabolic damage, time is just clicking on by. If you've got metabolic damage, then it's a longer period. And depending on the level of damage you have, I don't mean just autoimmune disorders like Crohn's and lupus and heart disease and diabetes and MS, or like, I'm not talking about those things, or polycystic ovarian syndrome and all this stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about adrenal fatigue. I'm tired all the time. I'm cranky, I'm moody, I'm depressed, whatever, I'm PMSing, I've got low T, I've got estrogen dominance. That's also considered metabolic damage. When you have this kind of damage, looks like I'm going to have to do part 2. So I'm going to get this out of the way first. If you guys want to learn more before I go to part 2, you got to go to the show notes, click on the link. I always try to put like where you could go to find me, which is my website, stephanieperson.com, and you guys can sign up for a consultation while I'm still doing consultations, because I will soon stop doing them. I also, or slow them down exponentially. I also have my Facebook, which I like to put out a lot of information about the body in correlation to keto, and that's Stephanie the Business Person. Or you could go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic, or the best one I love right now is Periscope. Download the app from the Apple or Play Store onto your smartphone. Find the name Steph the Business and watch me go live. We can interact. It's kind of like my Q&A sessions or little mini seminars online for free. Well, they will always be for free because that's Periscope. So just go to the show notes below me and click on the link if you want to learn more. Now, back to the basics of it, because I already realized I got to do part 2. Just how I roll. I'm trying to squeeze in everything I know into these videos. Okay, so in the beginning, I spoke a lot ad nauseum about these same subjects over and over and over again. Now I'm graduating to, the beginnings of your ketogenic evolution. I'm realizing you need to go and do a freaking oat test. This is an organic acid test, a comprehensive urinalysis. Go to mymedlabs.com. The comprehensive test is 325. Get over the number. It is what it is. But all those tests that the doctors can't test for, the oat test will. So a lot of you guys, if you have that metabolic damage and you're like, why am I not producing ketones? Why is my glucose so high? There it is. Right there in an oat test. So I'm going deep, guys. I'm always like, you have to go down the rabbit's hole and find the initial issue that's blocking your ability to make ketones, because when the body's stressed out, you won't adapt. Because the brain goes back and forth. Glucose, ketones. No, I want the glucose because it's like my crack cocaine. Pipe. It just is what it is. And since our bodies can still make glucose, every darn notification is going off right now. And I'm still waiting for the sirens to happen. What do you know? Yeah, so it looks like you guys, I got to do a beginner's guide to the ketogenic diet part 2, because I'm just trying to stick like the beginner and the advanced stuff all in one video, and it doesn't work. So you guys know what to do. Go to the show notes and definitely download the Periscope app onto your Apple iPad or tablet or to your smartphone. Bang! Second part coming up.